Hello everyone, Tony here bringing you a new Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile video. Today I'll be going over my current passion, which is the Generaider Invoked deck. Now, before I get into the actual deck list, I want to say thank you so much for hitting 2,000 likes on that Blue Eyes deck video. I didn't expect it to blow up the way that it has, and I'm pretty sure Master Duel has a lot to do with it. But with that in mind, I can't express how much I appreciate the traffic that I've gotten, the subscribers that I've gotten. Last week, 2 weeks ago, I had like 42 subscriber. Now we're above 60. Like, it's a small number compared to some of these bigger channels, but to me, it just means the world. So I want to thank everybody that's liked, commented, and watched the video. Anybody that shared it with their friends or whatever. However, it got to 2,000 videos, I cannot express my gratitude. So from the bottom of my soul, thank you so much. Now, I know I said I wanted to update in 2 weeks. I'm a little late. Been playing a lot of Master Duel, getting into Digimon, the card game, which is pretty fun. But enough stalling on this video. I'm going to get into it. So now, Generaiders is a fun concept of a deck that takes lore from different type of mythologies and kind of shoves it into a video game, right? So Generaiders are built around controlling aspects of the game. The problem with them is that they're all level 9s and they rely heavily on a field card to work the deck. So there were some problems with the deck in terms of just building it to where it was able to sustain itself. So I decided to add the Alistair Invoker package to kind of supplement the deck and like help it do what it already does but better. Right, so we're going to get into the list now. So one Mardell, when she's normal or special summon, you search for one Generaider card in your deck. I want to play this card at more than one. I have another one that's on the way, but I can't really justify it because she doesn't have another effect outside of that. But she's a really good card, right? She searches for any Generaider cards, so she'll kind of like fit the puzzle and allow you to set your field up for like better plays, because this deck is about control. So you'll search your field card, search for your trap cards, search for your spell cards. Next is Nidhogg. So what he does is you contribute 2 Generaider monsters. No, I think he's only one actually. Yeah, so it's one. So you either attribute a worm monster or a Generaider monster to negate a self-inherent summon. So something like a synchro summon, a link summon, something that summons with the same mechanics as like a Cyber Dragon, he'd negate for attributing a Generaider card. So one thing that's kind of like along with the theme for Generaiders is that they tend to tribute Generaider monsters or their same type. So he's a worm monster, he tributes worm types or Generaiders. Mardella, on the other hand, you're really never going to use that effect. You're just going to use her to search for a plant monster? Never. It's always going to be for the Generaider spell trap. She has no tribute effect as of right now. One Hela, Generaider Boss of Doom. She is the monster reborn of the deck. You tribute a zombie monster or another Generaider monster. Special summon a Generaider from the graveyard, so she'll allow you to get back your boss monster, which is the only Generaider you play more than one of. Well, actually, I forgot about Laptur. Laptur you actually play 3 of as well. So what he does is, during your opponent's turn, let me fix the focus here. During your opponent's turn, all your Generaider monsters gain 1,000 attack and defense points. Then during the main phase, quick effect on either player's turn, you contribute a Generaider monster, special summon a Generaider monster that you already don't have on the field. So he's one of the few that you play more than one of. You actually play 3 of because he gives you access to a lot of the cards in your deck still. In the case where you don't open up with the field spell, he'll give you Mardell to get the field spell. He'll give you Hard to put up a nice defense. Or he'll just give you like a missing component to your combo. Maybe you want to put Hela on board so that way you can start recycling some of your older Generaiders that are in the graveyard now. He's a really good card, so you have to play 3 of him. And then the actual boss monster of this deck, Hard, Generaider Boss with the Storms. So what he does is when your opponent adds a card from their deck to the hand outside of drawing it, right? Hold on, let's fix that. During the draw phase, outside of drawing it, you can make them send a monster from their side of the field or their hand to the graveyard, but it's their choice. The second effect, you contribute either 2 Generaider or 2 Spellcaster monsters. Sorry, the focus is like going out of whack this video. You contribute either 2 Generaider or 2 Spellcaster monsters to negate a card effect or the activation of a card effect. So he is your source of control. He's 3,000, 3,000, and he has this amazing ability to just like control and dictate the game because he's so big. And his first effect is not a hard once per turn, it's a soft once per turn. The second effect to negate is a hard once per turn, but the first effect, if you get him on the field and make your opponent discard a card, then you can get them to do it again. With a different har, you can get them to discard again. It's not situational, but well, it's super situational because you're probably not going to get it to happen too often. But his second effect being a negate helps a lot with being able to pressure your opponent because your opponent's going to want this card off the field, and he makes you fight to get him off the field. The next card, 3 copies of Alistair the Invoker. This is the second part of the deck where it allows you to kind of freely play more control. So being that the Generaider monsters all get special summon from the deck, in most cases anyway, it leaves your normal summon kind of open. So Alistair will kind of fill in the gaps, and Generaiders tend to have different elements. Well, attributes, excuse me. And Alistair, as you know, he's the master of fusion here, so he's able to use those attributes and go into fusions depending on the situation. The main target you're probably going to go for is Makaba. So I'm playing a single copy of Condemned Witch. She allows you to search for a card with Forbidden in its name. And during your opponent's main phase, you contribute her to special summon a level 4 fairy type, which is my way of searching out Loft here. So you play a single copy of her to get into this, and it helps the deck flow. So the Forbidden card you search for will be shown later. But there are, alright, so right now I'm going to tell you there are some expensive cards in this deck, but I will show you alternatives that you can play to supplement them. Playing 1 Destiny Hero Celestial, which obviously means I'm playing Destroy Phoenix Enforcer. Plasma. So the fun thing about Plasma is that in this deck, if I get the Generaider Boss Room field spell to activate during my turn, I get a free Plasma on board. So you can actually summon this card in this deck. Plasma is always a good card. He's a skill drain for your opponent, right? So, I mean, skill drain's at 3 now. People are probably going to play it. Plasma, you know, is as strong as he's always been. 3 Effect Veilers. So this slot is essentially going to be a hand trap of your choice. Initially, I was playing Ash Blossoms. In Master Duels, I actually play Ash Blossoms. But I wanted to try with Effect Veiler because I wanted to be able to link climb into Selene. So with this, I can go into Halki Firebrax, bring out another Effect Veiler, go into Selene, and, you know, do some bigger plays from there, whether I want to go into Access Code Talk or maybe I want to go into Blacklisted Soldier Chaos. This just leaves that option open. As of right now, I'm liking the Effect Veiler a little more than Ash Blossom, but it's a matter of convenience. Whatever you want to play, you play. Terraforming, because the field spell is super important to this deck. I play a single copy of Magical Meltdown for the same reason I play the single copy of Condemned Witch. You want to get that, you want to get Alistair the same way you want to get Lopt here. Both cards are equally important to like being that first summon if it's possible. But this card overall is just pretty dope. You just search for Alistair, add it to your hand, and Alistair searches for its polarization. So, like, you know, it's a little search engine. You just don't want to get hit with a Droll and Lockbird. 3 Generaider Boss Quest. The Generaider field spell is super important. And this card is like the perfect way of making sure you have it, because it sends back a level 9. Well, you can send back anything. Most of the time, you're going to send back the monsters that you don't want to see. So you send back a Generaider card, add up to two Generaider spell or traps from your deck to your hand. So most of the time, you're going to search field spell and maybe your continuous trap card. But this is a great way to make sure that you don't have the Generaider monsters in your hand all the time. And then the star of the deck, Generaider Boss Stage. I haven't seen a field card outside of like Mystic Mine where the presence of this field card can literally piss people off, right? So when your opponent adds a card from their deck to their hand, period. It could be their draw phase, it could be the research, whatever the case is, you can activate this effect. And what you do is you special summon a Generaider from your deck to the field that has a different name. You can't like put 2 Hars on board, for example. Right, so that's effect number 1. Effect number 2 is when a Generator special summon, you can summon as many tokens as possible to your open monster slots. So now keep this in mind because this is a habit that I had to kind of break. When you bring out a fusion, a synchro, you're gonna want to put in the extra monster zones so you can get the most out of this card. And this card feeds your Generator monsters their abilities to be able to activate it, right? So with this, you get 4 tokens. Heart can negate. Hela can bring a monster back from the graveyard. Nidhogg can negate a special summon. Like it just supplements the deck in such a way where it's absolutely necessary. So with that in mind, both effects are once per turn. The second effect to bring out the tokens being a hard once per turn, and then the first effect, special summoning a Generator from the deck, is a once per turn. But it's a soft once per turn, so you're able to, if you're able to activate another one during your opponent's turn, and they add a card to their hand, you can special summon another Generator from your deck. So overall, this card is amazing, and I'm actually surprised that a card as strong as this exists without this deck seeing some kind of play. It's super fun. 2 invocations. This is the poly for Alistair. I don't know if you need an explanation for this. It's kind of been around forever. 2 Product Prosperity. So this is where the deck kind of gets a little pricey. So again, there's certain cards in this deck that are super important to see. I was playing 3. I did cut it down to 2. You can replace this with Kajikuri Curse, which lets you essentially Destiny draw or Advance draw a level 9 monster and draw 2 cards. 2 Forbidden Droplets. Now, again, I understand the price of this card is kind of astronomical right now. In some instances, you're not going to want to pay $80+ for a card. Completely understand it. Forbidden Chalice is absolutely acceptable to replace this card. There's common versions of it, ultra versions of it. Droplet is just amazing, right? Like it could literally single-handedly win you a game that you probably couldn't have won. Like in Master Duel, I had this and Raigeki in my hand and was able to destroy Tri-Brigade Literalist because I had Droplet and I was able to negate 2 very important cards. So it's like I don't want to sit here and tell you that you have to have this card. If you're able to get your hands on it, great. It's amazing for this deck. And it's searchable with Condemned Witch. That's the main thing. That's the only reason why I'm playing this card, because if not, I'd probably play like maybe more hand traps. But this card is awesome. 2 Fusion Destiny. I hate that I have mismatch rarities, but I am waiting for a second one to come to mill. Gives you Destroy Phoenix Enforcer. And with the new ban list out, you don't need, well, you actually can't play more than 2. So 2 suffices. A single copy of Generator Boss Room. This card is searchable with the spell card and Mardell. And what it does is when your opponent activates a card effect in response to one of your Generator card effects, you can activate this, discard a card from your hand. Both players, the effect becomes both players draw 1 card. So like if they try to chain Mystical Space Typhoon to your field card, you activate this, discard a card. Now both players draw a card and your field card would activate, for example. You know, and it works with the monsters as well. 2 Generator boss fights. So this card lets you activate the field card from your deck or graveyard. So initially I was playing 3 of this card, but I took a 3rd one out to play Triple Solemn Strike, which is up next. And yeah, this is like Metaverse on steroids, right? And the fact that, hold on, there we go. This is like Metaverse on steroids, and the fact that like you could play this at 3, you could search it out. It makes the deck click so well. And now we're playing Triple Solemn Strike. So again, you're trying to stop your opponent from playing cards and doing certain things. So with monster effects being as strong as they are, I kind of wanted another way to negate monster effects. So playing a Solemn Strike behind a Har is kind of crazy because your opponent has 2 negates to think about, and one just completely shuts down any like play they might want to try and play. So that's the deck. Like I said, so far it's been playing well. I like it. I'm definitely still adjusting it or, you know, making changes to it that need to happen. So we're going to delve into the extra deck now. These are your... Where are they? Oh yeah, this is the extra deck right here. Alright, so from the top, Destroy Phoenix Enforcer. Unlike Master Duel, where this doesn't exist, this card, like with this deck and the field card specifically, is just amazing because you get the tokens that you're able to just use to destroy and then kind of keep him able to control cards on your opponent's side of the field. Destroy Phoenix Enforcer is meta defining in some aspects because of the amount of control you get from it. So you pair that with Har, with the back row Solemn Strike, and with the Macabre on board, it's just the amount of control that this deck provides is absolutely insane. This is the first time I'm actually playing this monster in this deck. I would compare it to it's that Black Rose monsters like Moonlight Rose Dragon or something like that. So what he does is when he special summon and destroy one monster that was special summoned on the field, and whenever a monster is special summoned to your opponent's side of the field, you can destroy one special summon monster, or you can actually destroy any monster they control. Then you can banish a future monster. He gains attack equal to the banished monster attack until the end of your opponent's turn. That effect I don't really use. It's just the first effect, and it's just another form of control, right? And normally I would never play this card, but it is so easy to bring him out in this deck because of just the overall utility. And yeah, I kind of like adding another layer of control, so I do play one of him. I play a single copy of Purgatrio, because there's so many attributes in this deck, you can kind of cover every facet of being able to play their fusions. I don't play the Earth or the Water one, but this one from time to time has won me a game or has done enough to like pressure my opponent into just forfeiting. One Kaliga, I don't use this card outside of Pot of Prosperity fodder. However, it can come in to an important aspect. You're playing against a Dark Magician player. You're playing against somebody that requires like Shaddoll cards in the graveyard. Like this card will kind of help you get out of it because of Invocation. I am playing one Raging. Same thing as the Kaliga. This is probably a target for Pot of Prosperity, but at the same time, it has its uses where they see fit, especially against like Lureless, where you want to get rid of certain targets. Two Macabas. So this deck can go into Macabre fairly easily. Tokens are light types. Artemis is light type. Most of the cards that could be used in combination with Alistair tend to be light types. So being able to use this over this, or you can, if this guy dies, you can use him from the graveyard. Like, Macabre is awesome, and he adds another layer of control, and he's level 9, which means that you can exceed with the Generaider monsters. I am playing one Synchro in this deck, and it's Baron the Floor. It's a negate, so it's another form of control. And being that she's able to bring back a level 9 or lower monster from the graveyard, she coincides with being able to continue recycling and controlling different facets of the game. So you can bring back Har, you can bring back Mardell and get a search. She fits in with this deck well, and Effect Veiler plus any Generaider equals her. I do not know how to pronounce his name. Jormungandr, I believe it is. So he's actually a pretty interesting card. He has a quick effect. You can detach a material from him. Both players draw a card, and then they attach a card to him. For each card attached to him, he gains 1,000 attack points. So he just kind of gets big. That's pretty much it. He, like, him not having like no kind of self protection kind of sucks, but he can get big really fast. Especially, he starts off at 2,000 on your turn. He can go to 3 on your opponent's turn. He goes to 4, and then you get him back on yours. It's 5,000. So he's not to be slept on because he's really good, and then he can actually fill up on materials really quickly, and then allow you to go into like Zeus, for example. And Zeus plus 4 materials is obnoxious, right? So in case you don't know what Zeus does, you can attach 2 materials from him and send all other cards on the field to the graveyard. So Jormungandr pairs very well with Zeus. We're playing a Sacred Tree Beast Hyperiton, and he's just another form of negation, right? And he's level 9, so all of these fit in with the deck well. Like, both of these level 9, they can go into him. They can both build their own materials inherently. So now onto the Link monsters. Single copy of Artemis because Alistair Invoker plus her equals Macabre. Celine because it allows me to link climb into Access Code Talker. He is one of your game winners. So in case you don't know how Celine helps you link climb, Actually, I need to. This is supposed to be Hockey Fibrax. But how she helps you lane climb is you go into link 3, bring her out, target any spellcaster, bring it here. The spellcaster plus her, in this case, most likely be like Effect Veiler. Bring out Access Code Talker. Code Talker targets her. He gets an extra 3,000 attack. And he's a 53 with the ability to blow up cards on the field. And the last card that I have right now is Soldier of Chaos. I do have Hockey Fibrax somewhere. What deck was he in? He might be in my Invoker deck. Not my Invoker deck, my Adamantipator deck. That's fine though. So Soldier of Chaos actually pairs fit pretty well with this too, because this deck has a bunch of level 9s, which means that he'll get his self-protection effect. He'd be able to manipulate how he is perceived as a threat, because you can power him up. He gets an extra attack, or you can banish card in the field, right? So yeah, like that's the deck in the most part. The deck is super control orientated. Make sure that you at least give this deck a look on Master Duel. It's fairly cheap to play. There is another Generaider monster that I'm supposed to be playing, but I don't have it here. I'm waiting for it in the mail, and it's Utgarda, Generaider boss with illusion. And what he does is you can tribute 2 Generaider monsters to 2 rock monsters, target 1 card in the field, and banish it. So it's another form of control. I'd probably take out Nidhogg to play this, but yeah, like Generaider is like the deck itself has so much control and manipulation. It's great to play. So I want to thank you guys once again for the 2,000 plus views on that Blue Eyes White Dragon video. I hope this one blows up to even a quarter of that. With that being said, I want to thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. I will see you guys in a couple of weeks.